Hi, this is David with the Enzo Trading System. This is going to be just a quick report on the current state of things. Um, on the previous performance report, we were, I guess, 10 days from the end of June. At the time, I mentioned that June was likely to be the most profitable month of the year for us so far, and that was due mostly to a recent introduction of short side strategies, which allowed us to make profit on a downwards market. And at the time we were at plus 91% on the reference fund. Now we're at plus 24, 25%. So that was quite a bit of a drawdown. I mentioned that there was going to be a drawdown, and I jokingly mentioned that I shouldn't have been too optimistic about the current situation, because the more you talk, the more somehow the market is going to go against you, and that seems to be the case indeed. So it's quite a bit of drawdown, but in this case it is to be expected, and the reason it's the usual one. The market hasn't take any decent shape. He hasn't decided whether it's going to go up or down, and that's really when the algorithms get confused. Here I have a vision of Bitcoin. Until the market went down, we were able to, it was markedly going down. We were able to take some decent profit on the short side. And then what happened? It started looking like it was going up. So we got some losses on the long side, and then it started looking it was going down. A little bit of profit on the downside. And then by the switch of the month, just 2 hours before midnight GMT, what it looked like it was going to be quite profitable short position. This was a Bitcoin, and I think also in a couple of other coins. It turned out into a loss. There was a major short squeeze. Anybody who was on the short felt quite a bit of pain, I'm sure. There was a big bounce up. I think it was, I don't know, 6-7%. On Bitcoin, we actually didn't even hit stop loss. I think this was just the algorithm just switched into a mode where it sold. A stop loss would have been a little bit higher, so lost a little bit less than what we could have. But on other coins wasn't so we weren't so fortunate. And so yeah, and then it continued. Now let's see. Again, this is only Bitcoin, but Bitcoin we didn't get too many losses. Others we just got tricked into the woods here. Another thing I would like to notice in the Bitcoin is just today we closed a long position that went on for 3 days. And it looked like it was going to be quite profitable for the first day, and then what it looked like a reversal didn't really came to be. There was a lot of volatility going sideways and slightly down. And I would like to actually highlight the way the algorithm was really thinking. And here I have at the bottom here, it's our bear bull indicator that gives a sense on whether if it thinks that there's a good chance that it's going to be possibly going up for as long as it's in the green. And then once it's really decided that there's really no chance, and then some other indicator agree, then the position is closed, and that's it. So I think this is obviously due to the fact that the market is moving sideways, and an obvious suggestion would be, why don't we somehow improve the algorithm to be more aware of the current situation? So ideally an algorithm perhaps would know there's been a few days of sideways, so switch to sideways mode. Sideways mode would be one where perhaps, let's say, whether directly it will sell after a 2-3% profit, or indirectly through some higher frequency indicator. I would, ideally take profits. And I should also mention in this case, Bitcoin, we closed the position with a little bit of profit. Some other Atom and EOS, we also closed with a pretty decent profit. This was EOS. This is Atom. But many others just closed with a loss. And the reason really why it's not so easy to make a switch is that it is counterproductive as far as the big profit goes. What is really profitable is to engage into a really big bull run or really heavy drop. And to do that, you kind of have to be patient. Many times when the algorithm is a bit too clever and tries to pick the tops, you may think that you're winning because you're picking tops, but then when the market really starts to move, you're outside. You don't have an open position, and you don't have an open position. Perhaps your algorithm is going to wait a little bit of retracement to get in, but by the time you get in, there's a good chance that perhaps the market is going down. So the secret really, in a sense, as far as we understand it, to make the bigger profits, it's to be patient and stay as long as possible. For as long as you think that there is going to be a big move, stay on the position. Let's say 8 times out of 10 it is not verified. 8 times out of 10 you end up with a much smaller profit, many times with actually a loss. But then there are those 2 times out of 10 where when you're in it, then you're in it for a long ride. That's where you make the big profit. It's not as exciting. Ideally, one would get a lot of smaller wins. Daily wins would be excellent. But if you go and look at what the best performances comes from, that's really for being patient. And so, again, we could set a state where we say, oh, looking back at the last 4 days, the market is sideways, therefore we behave in a sideways manner. But then what it happens is that the moment in which it switches, for the first couple of days, because there's a certain lag added to the fact that there is a certain lag for determining what's the market state. For the first couple of days, you don't suddenly know that now you're not in a sideways mode. So you're probably, even if you're in a position, you're probably still going to close and open and close. And then after a couple of days or 3-4 days, then you finally decide that, okay, now we switch to trending mode. But then by the time you switch to trending mode, it could be a little bit late. And let's not forget that trend is not like, I draw a line like this, but in reality, a trend is, it bounces around and you don't really know how this behaves. And as usual, if you're in a trend previously, and then it really pays off, because once you're in profit, even those retracement, even if there are several percentage points, is not an issue. But if instead you enter the trend late, you may enter here and then it goes up, and then perhaps here you hit your stop loss, and then you miss the chance for the next section. So long story short, it's better to be patient with the position and also then trying to guess what's the current state of things. The current state of things, it's really not a prediction, it's just a statement. So the prediction, in a sense, it's better done for a longer term. If you know that as many times in a year, generally, there is going to be a big run, then it's better to kind of be prepared for that kind of situation rather than looking back a few days and thinking, because it's much more likely that there is going to be certain amounts of bull run during a year than the market behaving similarly week to week. It's really a long discussion. I mean, one can make it longer or can make it shorter, but that's basically what it is. Yeah, so hopefully that's the bottom of the drawdown for us, but who knows? I mean, it could go lower. Well, now we're just in a couple of new positions. Let's see how this goes. It's quite interesting because right now we're on DOT on a long and EOS on a short, and Tezos for some reason is a very profitable long, although we only are 2% into it. Personally, I kind of like this setup because kind of like the idea that that we are both on a long and a short. Ideally, they both pay off. It means that perhaps the market is varied. It would be nice to get a both profit long or short, but we'll see how them shapes out to be. So yeah, I don't think I have much else to add. I could show other markets, but pretty much similar to Bitcoin, generally worse. Bitcoin it's always, I guess, in a sense, probably always going to be the best bet. It's the one that takes less influence, although you still get this really nasty market movements from time to time. It isn't like a big global market. Anybody can move it with I don't know, a few $1 million. So, but still, it's the more reliable. Nevertheless, it's good to be on a bunch of markets because you do get some diversification from time to time. Definitely don't want to be 100% on Bitcoin alone. That's it for me. Nothing else to add. If you have any comments and questions, we're always available on the Discord channel. Even if you want to talk just about trading techniques, I'm very much open to that. Our system cannot be really customized at this point. And frankly, it's hard to integrate suggestion from outside because most suggestions that we received is probably something that we already tested or something that is difficult to test. But still, it helps to talk about this stuff. Perhaps there are other traders that they have their own system. They want to share their experience. I think sharing definitely helps, can help everybody. So, yeah, let me know. See ya. Bye.